When I first made this YouTube channel, I wanted to stick to doing mostly video game stuff. Every once in a while, maybe deviate from the path and have a discussion about something. And today, I feel like that is kind of necessary. I want to get my point across about something that has recently come up that you probably already know what it's going to be about by the title of this video alone. Now, before I even dive into it, I want to say I'm going to try to remain, and I say try with a very hard, in caps, all bold, try to remain neutral. But I am very passionate about stuff like this, and I just don't want to sit back anymore. So passionate that I just want to talk about it, and I don't even care it's a trending topic right now. It's not for the views. I just want to have my voice be heard. Many people know Jontron as a comedian of sorts. He's been on Let's Play with Game Grumps back in the day when they first started. He has his own show on his own channel that he does video reviews of video games, movies, anything really. But recently he's become pretty controversial with a good amount of people. Back when he left Game Grumps, there was always conspiracies surrounding why he left or if he was kicked out or something. None that I think really are true, but there is definitely something behind the curtains that they're not telling us. I think people should be allowed to their privacy, and I don't want to go digging around for it. That being said, privacy is a big thing for people, and personal opinions and personal thoughts on things shouldn't be mixed with their work. We have plenty of people who come out and speak, and they don't always have the brightest ideas, but we shouldn't mix it up with their own things they do, like such as movies or music. Even Dan Avidan from Game Grumps himself said this in one episode, which I'm not going to go digging around the quote for, but people shouldn't be turned away just because they have different thoughts than another person. And if you really enjoy someone's work, that shouldn't get in the way of you enjoying another person's work. I'm sure there's plenty of background information that you can look up on your favorite artist, actor, writer, anything right now, and you'd be able to find something you do not like about them. An opinion that they said once, or they one time were angry at somebody that was just trying to be nice, but some people just have bad days. But now we're going to get into the main topic of this video. So a game that started on Kickstarter about 2 years ago now, Yooka-Laylee, most people have probably heard of it. I know I backed it myself just to get the game award. 2 years ago, they invited Jontron to do a voice in the game, and that was it. It's just a voice, nothing big. You just say a couple of lines, and then boom, you're in the game. It's because he had a love for Banjo-Kazooie. I know he had personal connections with Grant Kirkhope, who is a talented music producer that does the other Banjo-Kazooie games and is doing Yooka-Laylee currently. So they got that all recorded, and now 2 years later, Jontron is starting to speak up about his own personal beliefs, and he's currently not popular with a lot of people just because he's done that. Now, if he wants to speak his own personal beliefs out in public, that's fine, but he's keeping it away from his own YouTube channel. No one is forcing it down anybody else's throat. All he's doing is going to other people's channels that are made for this kind of thing and discussing with them, getting in debates and everything. Now, a lot of people are getting really upset with him, even his own fans, and they're starting to turn his back on him. Now, say if he was not being funny anymore or not entertaining anymore, then this would be fine. Go ahead, unsubscribe for him. He's not doing the thing that he was doing before, the reason why you subscribed to him. But when people start unsubscribing and start hating on him for his own personal beliefs, that seems a bit childish because they're not really hating his work. His work's still great in my opinion, but they're hating his personality. Now, I know when he puts on a show, he does a kind of a character. It's not the same person you'd be in real life, kind of like how Weird Al Yankovic puts on the Weird Al, and then whenever you meet him in real life, he's very normal. And many people do this, many comedians at least. They like to put on a character and something that they wouldn't actually act out in person because they have their own personal lives they gotta live. But now everybody is getting mixed up with it. People are shouting, I hate on Jontron because he has different beliefs than me. And some people even calling him racist and new Donald Trump. And everybody I don't like on the internet and disagrees with me is Hitler. And so much so that Playtonics doesn't want to associate Jontron with Yooka-Laylee anymore. And I'll read the quote all fully. Jontron is a talented video presenter who we initially, 2 years ago, happy to include as a voice actor contributor in our game. However, in light of his recent personal, remember that word kids, personal viewpoints, we have made the decision to remove Jontron's inclusion in the game via a forthcoming content update. We would like to make absolutely clear that we do not endorse or support Jontron's personal viewpoints, and that, as an extra fan contributor, he does not represent Playtonic in any capacity. Exactly, a fan. He doesn't work at Playtonic or anything. He's a fan. Playtonic is a studio that celebrates diversity in all forms and strives to make games that everyone can enjoy. When they say something like that, like they celebrate diversities in all forms, that should mean someone's own personal beliefs. That's something that's diverse, different. So he's saying something different, and they're cutting him? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So what I'm getting from this, too, is that if you have a diverse, or if you are a Jontron fan still, even after all this controversy, that they don't want you playing their game because they don't want to be affiliated with you. But wait a second. If you don't play their game, if you don't buy their game, they won't be getting the money for that. I said I'd be neutral, but I'm guessing it's pretty obvious by now. Don't worry, I have things to say against Jontron, too. As such, we deeply regret any implied association that we could make players feel anything but 100% comfortable in our game worlds, or distract from the incredibly goodwill and love showed by our Kickstarter fans and backers. What if you're a person that was a Kickstarter backer and was excited to hear Jontron this game? It feels so right. He was supporting Banjo-Kazooie long before this came up, and then suddenly he's dropped from the game. Like, he doesn't matter, all because of his personal opinion. Something about this just doesn't seem right, and it feels like they're trying to just play it safe like everybody does nowadays. So with this, obviously, it's going to get a lot of flack. I feel like this was a bad move on Playtonic's part. They should have just left it in there, or hell, even make it an option to have like voice acting on or off if you don't want to hear Jontron. If you're really that upset, are you not going to buy a game? You know, I say the same thing, but then some other people are going to be the opposite way. They're really upset that Jontron is not in the game anymore, and they're going to not buy the game. Just like how there's people that'd be upset if Jontron was in the game, then they won't buy the game. But honestly, if you're going to do this to one person, then you've got to do background checks on every other voice actor in that game. What if their personal opinions were, different from everybody else, diverse? I can think of one person that bought it their way in through a Kickstarter to do voice acting in this game that probably doesn't deserve it, but I mean, they did pay it. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold. Okay, now I'm actually coughing. I just kind of find this really silly that they're even taking the liberty to just remove Jontron from a game just because of his personal, diverse belief. Now, what did Jontron have to say with this? Well, here we go. Unfortunate to see Playtonic remove me. Actually, I should do this in Jontron's voice. It's unfortunate to see Playtonic remove me from Yooka-Laylee, but I understand their decision. I wish them the best with their launch. I do a bad Jontron impression. That's a pretty professional way to handle it, but now this is the point where I go against Jontron. He knew what he was getting himself into when he started actually publicly speaking his personal beliefs. And even though it's not on his main channel anywhere, you'd actually have to go look it up or watch one of the channels to see him on it. It's still biting him in the ass. And that's just what happens whenever you speak a different word than what most people believe. And whether it's popular or unpopular, it really shouldn't affect someone's career. If you don't like them personally, that's fine. If you don't like Jontron because you think he's racist from the words he says, that's fine. But if you think his work sucks just because he said, oh, I don't know, he said something about immigrants. Ooh, wow, racist. I don't want to watch your show anymore. Bye-bye. I mean, that just seems pretty childish to me. We already know that Jontron wasn't any kind of PC person back then on Game Grumps.
I put a hole in that!
And it probably still holds today. Being PC doesn't have to be what everybody's about. When you try to shut down somebody for having a diverse opinion over you, but then you try to talk about how you want to be diverse, then that seems pretty stupid to me because you're just going against yourself and your own words. But that's just some food for thought. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry to just go off on a rant like this, but once again, I get pretty heated whenever I see something like this in the news. I try to be quiet most of the time. I try to keep to myself. But with this, I wanted to at least have my voice heard. And we'll go back to doing fun little silly games Let's Plays with my friends. If you haven't subscribed to this channel and you want to see more videos like this, I hate to inform you it won't be a daily, maybe weekly, maybe even monthly thing. But I might do more stuff like this in the future. But if you like Let's Plays, then go on ahead. Go check out a few videos. If you like that, hit that subscribe button. I've been Mac, and see ya. See ya again someday.
Whoa.